What is a WDO and do I need one? Hi, I'm Denise. I sell real estate here in the Villages, Florida and throughout Central Florida. And my recommendation is yes, but what is it? So WDO stands for wood destroying organisms, otherwise known as termites. And yeah, you want to identify them and potentially get rid of them if the property you're interested in has them. So first, Florida has 3 different subcategories of termites to be aware of. You have your subterranean, which is going to be your ground termites. You've got your dry termites, and then you also have your damp wood termites. So they're all kind of doing something different, but it's all destruction, right? So in Florida, we have different constructed homes. You have your block or block stucco homes, so that's going to be the exterior. And you also have your wood framed homes, which are going to be a vinyl siding or some type of a siding home. But you have to remember that the trusses, the things that hold up your roof, that's made of wood. So you do want to always be factoring in, we're in Florida, we have a lot of rain in the summer, so moisture can be an issue in a Florida home and with the construction, and we don't want to attract those termites in the rainy season or the drywood termites when it isn't rainy. So what do? You hire an inspector who's going to make sure they're looking for either an active infestation or to see if there's any remnants of a previous infestation. So they're going to be looking for things, they're going to be checking moisture in the walls. They cannot remove drywall or siding, but they have instruments that can detect if there's moisture. And then there's things they look for. They're looking for certain types of damage. During the swarming season of the spring of 2 of the different types of termites, sometimes there'll be little wings because termites fly. So they'll be looking for those. And if you've ever seen a pile that looks like sawdust, it might just be termite droppings. So they're checking for those types of things, and this is going to protect you when you're looking to buy that home. And traditionally, we might have seen the big, huge tents over a house that has a termite infestation, and the fumigation does work, but you also might have walked around a property and seen these little tiny round green discs in the ground about every 5 feet around a home. And I've had buyers get panicky and say, oh my gosh, I don't know what those are, but does this house have a problem with termites? And the good news is, those are preventative treatments. Those are usually sentinel. You pop them in the ground around the perimeter and exterior of the home, and that's going to prevent those subterranean termites from doing any damage or accessing the property. So that's a good sign. And when you're looking, if you see that there is an existing termite bond on the home, doesn't mean they've ever had a problem with termites. It means that that homeowner is doing the preventative measures to keep that home from having termites. They might have had some termite damage in the past, but it doesn't mean that they have. It's actually a really good thing. And it's low cost, it's an annual treatment, and there are different treatment plans and programs that you can select based on cost effectiveness and where you are located. If you're close to woods, if you're in a neighborhood, some of those things will kind of come into play. But you definitely want to make sure that when you're doing the inspection, you're checking to see if there's any existing activity or any previous activity, because now you're under contract and you found a home. What if there appears to be some termite damage? Well, depending on the type of contract in Florida, if you're a standard FAR contract, it actually is written in there that the homeowner is responsible to 1.5% of the purchase price of the home to remedy that for you. And if you're a standard or as is contract, then you have that inspection period to decide, based on those findings from your inspector, how you want to proceed. If you want to back out and change your mind, you get your full escrow deposit back if it's within that inspection period. If you want to negotiate with the seller because you love the home and it seems like maybe it's a minimal problem, you can also negotiate there. So you do have options, which is the great news. So if you fall in love with that dream home and there might have been some activity or some current activity, you can kind of decide how you would like to proceed based on that information. But just keep in mind, when it comes down to a WDO, you want one. So you got to know that property you're buying. Listen, you're spending a lot of money on that home. Whether your budget was $300 or $3 million, you want to protect that asset. And the best way is to have all the information that you can possibly have when you're making that decision. So if you would like more information, make sure that you like and follow and also share, because there might be somebody that you know that's getting ready to buy a home and they need these tips too.